Alrighty, welcome back, boys and girls. It's your main math man, Mr. Shane, coming to you live from Alameda International High School. In this video, working with some transformations, and what we're going to do is we're going to first translate, meaning slide, this triangle CDE, and then we're going to reflect it, meaning to flip. So that first step is to draw the pre-image, meaning the original triangle CDE with these vertices C, D, and E. So again, we can have these ordered pairs plotted on the graph first. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to graph these points. That has C is going to be -3, -1, D is going to be 0, 3, and E is going to be -3, 3. Make sure you can draw them on the coordinate plane. So I'm going to say, all right, I have the point 3 steps left, 1 step down is going to be the point C. Again, make sure you're labeling those points with the appropriate letter. Also too, I can say, all right, point D is going to be just 3 steps up, point D, and then point E is going to be 3 steps to the left, 3 steps up. Again, make sure you can connect those sides, that way you can have your nice triangle like so. So once I have those, it says to do this. It says, now translate the triangle CDE 3 units right and 2 units down. So let me kind of highlight that so that way I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to create an image, C prime, D prime, and E prime, because I'm making a transformation. So all I'm doing is this. I can say, okay, I'm going to do in blue. I have each of these points is going to be 3 steps to the right, so 1, 2, 3, and then 2 steps down, so 1, 2. I can label that C prime. For point D, I can go 3 steps to the right, 1, 2, 3, 2 steps down, and label that D prime. And then E prime, again, is 3 steps to the right, 2 steps down, E prime. Again, make sure you connect those sides. And again, a way to double check your answer is it should be the same size and it should be the same shape. Again, since we're only sliding, meaning we're translating, we're only shifting this image. So again, notice how it is the same side lengths on those 2 sides, and it's facing the same way. Then if you want to work with those points at the bottom, you can say I did this. I slide every time I translate, and I'm shifting 3 right. So the way I do that is I have x plus 3, and then I can say I have 2 down, which just means I go and take each of my y values minus 2. So again, the way this works is as follows. I do -3 plus 3 is 0, 3 plus 0 is 3, and then I have -3 again, plus 3 is 0. Now I'm subtracting 2 from each of my y values, so I have -3, 1, and 1. All right. And then for that last step, it says to reflect this image. Again, we have our first image, which is our first prime. It's saying to reflect over the x-axis. So let me go ahead and highlight that x-axis. That way I know where to cross over. So again, make sure that you're reflecting over that x-axis. And we're going to create that new image of C double prime, D double prime, and E double prime. So I'm doing this. Again, I can put my hand on that axis and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to be reflecting over, so I am flipping those points. And so if I think of my thumb as that point C, I should have that my point C is now facing up. Again, another way to remember it is it has to be, so let me make sure it's on here, must be same distance from that axis. So that's an easy way to remember why I'm graphing this picture, because I know this. I'm saying since C prime is 3 steps away, that means when I reflect over it, it still has to be 3 steps away. So I'm going to say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 3 steps away, 1, 2, 3. So it's going to actually be on that same point of that original point D, but I can label it as C double prime. Similar idea, I'm going to have down here is E double prime, and down here is D double prime. Again, notice how it's 1 step away from that axis on both sides. I connect my vertices to make the sides of that triangle, and I'm good. So I just reflected over that x-axis, so that means this. If I reflect, I flip. I'm going over the x-axis, which means my x values are the same, and my y values are opposite. So again, copy down your x values, so I can say I have 0, 3, 0 as my x values, and I take the opposite, meaning if I take the opposite, I multiply by -1 to each of those values. So I'm saying opposite of -3 is +3, opposite of +1 is -1 for both of those points. So again, whether you're working with the graph first or the order pairs first, you should still get the same answer. Key parts or key takeaways: when you translate, you slide the same distance each time. When you flip, you have to make sure you're the same distance from each axis. Be sure to ask questions, and as always, super slam that subscribe button.